Yo, all right, man. So we in here, yo. Welcome, 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 welcome to another episode of Jules and Life podcast. Of course, I am your host, Mr. Primo Bars, aka B Zachary, D Zach General, the rebel soldier, the witty, unpredictable asshole, and all that. The poet like Langston Hughes. I can't lose on this episode. Of course, it's another episode in the series, man. Me talking to my guys, real conversation with real guys. So of course, we got another real guy here joining me today. My man Don Wholio is in it. Don Wholio is in the building. Don Wholio is what I call him. I call him C Baker. That's my guy. What's going on with you, brother?
Absolutely.
First and
We
foremost,
got many titles.
first and foremost, let's welcome my guy to the program. You heard? Welcome him here properly. What's going on, family? How are you?
Hey man, life is good, doc. I cannot complain, man.
Okay.
I can't complain. I can't complain at all.
A
And
lot
it
of
wouldn't do
things
me
going
no
on.
good if I did that.
Yeah, you're right. Who's listening anyway? Who wants to hear us bitch and complain about anything,
You
right?
know what I mean? We ain't got ain't no you know what I'm saying? We ain't got time for that, man. You know, complaints is not welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Real.
man. Solutions, man. I mean,
Love your boots.
it's always gonna be a problem. You know, instead of complaining and bitching, you got to get to the solution, and that's it. That's the end of that right
Yep.
there, man. You know what I mean?
I agree with you 100% on that, doc.
But what's up?
100%, man.
I mean, but what's up? You got to
Things are good, doc.
I mean, it's all good. Before we start though, I know you got your podcast. You got your podcast that you're starting right now. Go ahead and put the name out there to the people. Let them know what they need to be checking in at. You know, to come to you.
I'm still working on it, man. But I'm slowly but surely. You know what I mean? Getting it to where I want to get it at, you man. You know, it's hosted by your boy Dun Wholio, aka Dun Wholio, C Baker, C Dot. You know what I mean? All the above.
Yeah.
This basically called Straight with No Chaser. You know what I'm saying? It's unfiltered. You know, I'm
Okay.
still trying to work out some kinks with it. But yeah, man. You know, we'll see how that play out. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, yeah, man. Just
I like what you're
keep
doing
doing
with
your
your
thing.
podcast, man. Absolutely,
Yeah, man.
absolutely, man, absolutely. But I
All
like
right.
what you're doing with yours too, Doc. I like what you're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? You're doing your thing with your podcast, man. It's good. You know, every time you send me something, I mean, I listen to the whole thing, but I listen to,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, quite a bit of it. You know what I'm
that's
saying? So,
what's up, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I feel like
Good shit.
I feel like I'm doing a service, man. At least to some degree, man. A little bit of a service, man. If it's and I don't expect everybody to listen to all of it. As long as you can catch something out of it, you know what I mean? That's all I expect anyway. You know what I mean?
Yep, no doubt, no doubt. That's 100%, dog. 100%,
But no,
100%, man. But yeah, good vibes, good
yeah,
vibes.
all the time, man. All the time, man. From day one, man. You know, like I mean, so just to get into a little bit of the history on how we met or whatever. I mean, it was really on a humbug situation, but the energy level has always been the same. That's why I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we've been in touch the whole time because niggas ain't changed. The same energy has been the same energy from day one, and you can't do nothing but respect that. You gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta respect that, man. We met. I met my boy Primo with his partner uh, at one of my homies. My homie was semi working and running this liquor store,
Mm-hmm.
and we up in there chilling, man. You know, vibing, drinking, whatever. And Primo came in there with one of his partners, man. And since that day, you know what I'm saying, you know, the spirit bell witness,
Yeah, man.
the spirit bell witness. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I fuck with you, I fuck with you. You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
Always, yep. It's been a long time. It's been a long time now. It's been some years now.
Yeah,
And
it's been a
shit,
few years. It's been a
I'm
few
saying we
years. Yeah,
still on each other's radar. Good
absolutely.
shit.
And even that day though, like that one day, I mean, we was just walking to the liquor
Yep.
store, just going to get a bottle, going to get a blunt or something like that. And now correct me if I'm wrong. We ended up chilling in there for like an hour and a half, just shooting the shit and
Yep.
chopping it up with
Shit.
each other, right?
Goddamn freestyling,
All that,
just having
playing, it,
fun.
playing
You know
each
what I'm
other
saying?
music back and forth and all that.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Nope.
But that's what, you know what I'm saying, man? You know, that's what real motherfuckers do, man.
Absolutely.
Real motherfucker, man, when they come across another real motherfucker, man, you can feel it in the air. You ain't got to second guess it.
No
You
question.
know what I'm saying? And
No question.
even if you don't speak in years, when you see each other, it's almost like you've been speaking every day. That's
Right.
just the vibe of real motherfuckers, dog. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And that shit's rare now.
It is, man.
It's a rarity.
It's getting more rare. It's more rare by the day, for real.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It really is, man. So, that's why I'm always me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not captivated by an audience. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't follow nobody else's agenda.
Right.
I move to the tune of my own beats.
That's right.
So that way I can express my free expression. I don't have to worry about what nobody say, think, or feel about it. You know what I'm saying?
Real shit.
And
Real shit.
me, you're not at that point in your life, then you're still a captive of this world. You're still a captive of the propaganda they put out there because you're still trying to mirror something that's not you.
Yeah.
So gotta be you, man.
That's right.
Gotta be authentic. Gotta be.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, with that said, man, I want to get off into of course, the most pressing topic of the day. We got the election results going on right now. What you
Right. The results are done. The results are in.
The results are in.
That's done and over.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that now? Let me say this now. Okay, so we are friends on social media. We're friends on social media. I don't know if you was trolling. Were you trolling with some of the things that you were posting, or were you just trying to get the people excited, or were you like what was your meaning behind some of the posts that you was posting? Because you was getting the people riled up a little bit. I seen motherfuckers was on there trying to check you and combat your words and all types of shit like that. Like, were you doing that on purpose?
Everything has a purpose, right? So, the problem that I have, and I might be slightly off topic.
No, bro, go ahead.
The problem that I have with my people is that we don't know collectively, right? As a complete unit of people, we don't think for ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't think for ourselves. What we do is we follow information from other people, and then we tag along.
Yeah.
And the fact that we are continuing to do that time after time again, that bothers me. And it really pisses me off is because we're continuing to be the laughing stock.
And last in line.
Country,
And last in line too.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, man. We're always the last hire, first fight.
Yeah. Yep.
If anybody want to win any type of election, they know all we need to do is persuade these niggas to get on our bandwagon. And if we can do that, then we win. I mean,
with no promise to these niggas at all. Just get them to pledge their vote.
History continue to repeat themselves.
Absolutely. You're right.
History continue to repeat it. So it's like you continue going for a fake bait. You go for it every time.
Right.
And when you get there to chew it, you realize it's a fake bait and you'll call a hook in your mouth.
Yeah.
Now you've been pulled up out the water.
Yeah.
Even
all of this president shit, I mean, like this shit is like Planters. Like, okay, you like peanuts, you eat peanut, you're familiar with Planters, the peanut company, right? Okay, so the United States is like fucking Planters, and the president is like Mr. Peanut. Like, that nigga don't control no shots on what goes on with Planters, the organization, the Planters, the company. of planners. He's just a figurehead. The president is just a figurehead. He's just the face of us. So whether it would have been Trump or Biden, I mean, it's still neither one of they the president. You know what I mean? They're not the CEO of the company or the country. It's other niggas that's the CEOs and CFOs of the country that's really making this shit move around for real. Like, they just the face. It's a president of every company. They don't make shit move in that company. It's a president of Def Jam. It's a president of Atlantic Records. It's a president everywhere, but they don't make shit move.
Exactly. But here's the thing, you know, the thing about the commander-in-chief that's in that position, what they have the ability to do is they have the ability to let voices be heard that typically wouldn't be heard, right?
Okay.
And they have the ability to do that through policies and procedures. Now, the problem is that they make these promises, and when it's time to deliver, that they don't have enough stamina to do it.
Yeah.
And even when I say stamina, I'm giving them leeway.
Or even the power.
Because honestly, most people spend time and money on what they want to spend it on.
That's a fact.
So when I look at people, when I look at somebody like Barack Obama, right? And I have to speak about Barack Obama. I have to go there because it's the only way to try to make sense of the matter.
You voted for him?
I did.
Both times?
I did. During that time, I did vote for him. And the reason I did vote for him because there was the first time there was a brother that looked like me, even though I know he half white and half black. Right. There was a brother that looked like me.
Same here.
And he had a black wife and he had kids.
Same here.
And I'm like, ain't no way fuck us over. You know what I mean? Ain't no way he's gonna do like the rest of them been doing us. I mean, this got to work now.
I feel you.
Shit, fucking did us worse than anybody else.
Okay, now when you say
what I mean?
When you say that, what you mean by that? When you say that, what you mean by that?
So if you ever go on Google, just go on Google promises Barack Obama made that he didn't follow through on. He made more promises to us and failed to deliver on damn near 70% of them.
Okay.
And when you look at his 8-year tenure,
and you say us,
right?
You
his
mean
8-year tenure.
When you say us, you mean specifically black people? He made this promise, these promises to
black people. I'm not talking. And see, that's another thing too, is that you get these, they make us these promises, and then they use figure of speech or they use certain literature,
semantics, and
to sway away from black people. So they'll go and say minorities.
Exactly.
Minorities make up
everybody
more than just black people. Right?
Everybody.
So therefore, they're not really
right.
Exactly. See, people go out and they do specific things for Latinos.
Exactly.
They go out and do specific things for the LGBT community.
That's correct.
They go out and do specific things for this person, that person. But nobody never does a specific thing for black people.
That's a fact.
And it's not that they can't do it. It's the fact that they won't do it. And they don't care to do it. So,
talk about it.
We as black folks, what we do is we allow that shit to continue to happen.
Yeah.
We allow it to happen because we are always giving everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Joe Biden called us super predators. He created a crime bill to lock us up tremendously. Kamala Harris did the same exact thing.
You're right about
that.
But
because people hate Donald Trump so much, they'll turn a blind eye to both those people just because they hate another person. They ignore the fact that the motherfucker called you a super predator. He's a fucking undercover racist.
Okay.
They ignore the fact that Kamala Harris created these crime bills and did her people worse than anybody that I've ever seen.
Well, she was the
right? She locked up more black folks than anybody that have ever been in the position that she was in.
Okay. Well, let me. So then,
I mean,
what do we do when faced with this choice, though? What do we do when faced with this choice? Okay, now the election's over now. But I mean, what do we do when faced with a choice with you say Biden's an
Ain't
undercover
nothing we
agent,
can do.
you know, but Trump is
Ain't
like
nothing we can
overt.
do.
I
No, now,
know.
ain't nothing we can do. You know why? Because now you got a group of people
Mm,
that have illiteracy about the basic concept of respect.
okay.
They don't even respect themselves to the basic common denominator to say, you know what? I'm just ain't voting for this motherfucker.
Right.
They rather hate somebody else so much to where they'll let another. I mean, the thing is this, man. You know, as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
as a whole, every black person in this country should be independent. They should not consider themselves a Democrat or a Republican.
I agree with
When
that.
I'm on Facebook, I'm on Facebook roughing feathers.
Okay.
I didn't vote. I
Neither
wasn't going to vote for neither one of them.
neither did I. I
Just
didn't.
like I didn't vote after Barack Obama came out the White House. I said I'm not voting for nobody else ever again because I realized the fuckery is bigger
Yeah,
than what I thought it was.
you're
You
right.
know what I'm
You know
saying?
what? I don't even know if I think I said that in my mind. I don't know if I consciously said that, but I kind of said, you know what? Like after Barack Obama, you know, I felt the same way you felt. Like, oh, okay, like, all right, they let us in office now. Okay, so things must be changing now, right? Nah,
It was all an illusion.
you know what I'm saying? So
It was
that,
all an illusion.
yeah, of course it was. So I was disillusioned by that as well. So like when it came to Trump and Hillary, like I didn't have no dog in that fight. I'm like, listen, I'm not pledging allegiance to either one of these motherfuckers, man.
Yep. Now here's the other thing too, right?
Hmm.
Um, here's the other thing. So then now, right? Even with that, so it's like now, you know, you look at that and you go, well, my own people ain't do shit for me in 8 years. He
Okay.
did everything. He did everything for the Latinos and the gay community. He did
Right.
everything, but for everybody but us.
Right. Now some say this.
I mean,
Some people say, okay, now Barack he was a son of an immigrant. He wasn't really like he's not the descendant of an American slave. You know what I mean? So was he?
Listen, if people want to be technical about it and
Oh,
get biblical about it,
yeah,
I can do that.
yeah. I'm
You
just
know
saying
what I'm
that's what some
saying?
people.
But see, the
That's
thing
what some
is,
people say. It doesn't excuse it in my mind at all. I'm just saying that's what some people say.
no, it
Like,
don't. But see, that's a that's a deeper that's a deeper uh 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 um that's a deeper story
okay,
to it. It's
right,
deeper than that's something that most people not gonna fathom because most people not edified enough to understand that. You understand? They just not. You
okay,
know. But if you want to be technical about it, if you're looking at the biblical perspective of it, right? We are the true Israelites. We are the biblical Jews that the Bible speak of,
talk about it.
right?
Talk about it.
Understand, understanding, understanding who Ham is, right? Ham is the African descent, the same Africans that had us in slavery, right? The same African that sold us to the Greeks,
Mm,
that sold us to the Arabs. You
mm,
understand?
mm.
So if you're talking to daddy, his dad is African. His daddy was one of the people that put my people in slavery. You understand? His
Okay.
mom white, so I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
speak about that story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people can conjure it up how they want to conjure it up, but if you want to talk about biblical facts and just be real about it, he's not a true nigga like me. He looked like me, but everybody in Egypt looked like me also.
Right.
That had me in slavery. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
And yeah,
So, just because we got the same skin tone don't mean we're the same people.
that's
That's
a fact.
where we that's where we're fucked up at in the minds because, we're not conscious enough to fall back and say, why am I called everything that this country want me to be? So you gotta look at it like this,
Oh,
right?
oh, yes.
If
Come
you
on. Yeah, come on. I
if you
wanted to go ahead
think
too.
about it like this, right? Name me any other race in the history of this country that have been called multiple titles than the black man.
and that they allowed someone else to dictate what those titles were. They didn't come up with those titles themselves. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you understand this, right? So then if you speaking about it from a biblical perspective, this was all prophesied that this was going to happen to God chosen people.
Okay.
So I mean,
That's what they say
so
biblically, yeah.
this was all prophesied. Right. So it happened. What happened was, we were stripped of our name. We were stripped
Everything.
of our identity
Everything.
because we chose not to obey the Most High God. So then he said we was going to be bywords and proverbs. Bywords and proverbs, niggas, coons, whatever you want to call us, we was called everything in the book. You know what I'm saying? We were called niggas, we was black, we was colored, we was Afro-American. You know what an Afro is? That's a hairdo.
It is a hairdo.
Until 1980, but people don't think about this stuff, man. People don't think about the cruelty in the names that people have given us multiple times, bro. Like we've had, and then you have the nerve to consider to call yourself an African fucking American.
Yeah, that's
like when people call themselves an African American, bro, it make my stomach turn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't like that term either, and especially the fact that,
like you're saying,
especially the fact
I'm
that
tell you
people come
what
up with that
when
term.
you call yourself an African American, you know what you're saying? You're saying I am a slave. That's all you're saying. I'm a slave. I'm a slave that came from Africa.
Yeah. Well, essentially,
That's all
yeah.
That's all you're telling yourself.
Now, well, check this out.
Now, if you want to
check this out, the term nigga, nigga, nigga. Now, doing the etymology of this word, that's not a term that white people came up with, like to denigrate us. That's like we've been called niggas. Like Niger.
No.
The country Niger was called, that was nigger. It was filled with niggers during that time. Nigger is in the Bible. Simon.
The word, and it is.
Yeah.
Also,
Simon from Niger was a nigger.
Yeah. All that word nigger mean is black.
It means king. It meant king in Ethiopia, but at one point in time, the entire continent of Africa was considered Ethiopia. But
you got different, see, that's one thing about the people that control this country. They can put many different definitions on many different words.
But that doesn't come from here, though.
But if you look closely, it doesn't come, a lot of stuff don't come from Europe. But the people that control this country do. But the people that control this country do, they control every outlet that you read and research on. So they can control the narrative. We know it's not that, but guess what? The other billions of people that don't know that, they're gonna think that's the real definition of it.
I know.
Now, when you look in the Bible, the word nigga in the Bible, it means black.
My nigga, before I came into the knowledge, I thought that for a long time because that's what all I knew of it. I thought white people created that word to degrade us and shit like that. But they didn't create the word. Like, it was a word that was already widely going around in Niger, Ethiopia during that time as a title of nobility. You know what I'm saying? A sovereign man, a title of nobility. They took the word and flipped it and to make it to make it a degradation after they put us in.
If you go to your Bible right now, if you go to Acts 13:1,
yes,
and you look at the word, it's interpreted and it means black.
Yes.
So people are gonna say it meant king and this and all that stuff, but the word means black. And what happened was when they came, because when they came and took us from Africa, that's not where we was from. We're from Jerusalem, but we fled to the west coast of Africa when we was running from the Romans. So when we went there, we colonized there. We had our own everything.
We were already populated in
right. We built it up. We built it up. And these people saw people that looked like them, but had different customs. They were trying to figure out how the hell they was able to come here and do things that we couldn't do, and this is our land. So then what happened? After we built up their country and they befriended us and hey, yeah, and all this, that, and the other, what they did, they turned around and did what? Hey, they let the Greeks come in and take us. That's why right now, if you look up this word BRICS, BRICS, look up BRICS.
Okay. What does that mean?
BRICS is Great Britain, it's Russia, it's India, China, South Africa. They're all in partnership.
Okay.
With each other. These countries do business together. They've always did business together. So when they came and got us from South Africa, that was the same business that was being conducted that's been conducted for the last hundreds of years between these countries.
What do you mean, the slave trade?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But now they do international business with each other.
Oh well, yeah, they do fucking
Currency.
human trafficking. They do human trafficking and all that
what
shit.
What I'm saying is this. Well, what people don't understand is that we built up China. The Israelites built China. We built South Africa.
Okay.
We built up the Russian.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
We built up India. The same ones that own the gas stations built up them. The East Indians.
Along with the Moors.
Great Britain built up them. Yeah, that's why in Great Britain you got so many niggas over there. Yeah. They think they British.
We built the first cathedrals. All that shit, man.
We are in the four corners of this earth because
exactly. Our influence is every fucking where.
Everywhere. But the thing is this, it's bigger than that. We're in the four corners of the earth because we built up this entire fucking country.
This entire earth.
They built this country on the backs of our foremothers and forefathers. Directly. But see,
and gained massive amount of wealth before we was the Bible say, before we was even able to earn the dollar.
Yeah. The Bible says your enemies are blessed because of you. Our enemies are blessed because of us, because we built up their fucking civilization. Absolutely. And they profit off of every fucking blood, sweat, and tear. But guess what? God allowed that to happen for our disobedience.
But why would it? Okay, so all right. So I got to play devil's advocate. Here. Yeah,
go ahead.
Why would a God allow such atrocities for such a long period of time? Why would a just God do such a thing?
Because he tell you in the book of Hosea, there's a book of Amos. I think it's in the book of Hosea. He said, I will turn my back to you until you acknowledge your affliction and come back to me. That's what I'm gonna do. When you look at the black culture, man, across the board, dude.
Yeah. Okay, so then why didn't what
we have? Go ahead.
Okay, so if that's God's decree, if that's what He's saying, if that's His word, what have we as Black people done that has perpetuated? Excuse me. That has perpetuated our position, our perpetual fuckery that we keep finding ourselves in, and obviously we can see the white man's barbarism and how he's going around the world and basically seized the entire world for his own power, control, greed, lucrativeness, and all that. So if that's God's decree, why doesn't that decree come against the most obvious? The most obvious.
Let me tell you, you have to be somebody that truly believes in the biblical words to really take hold on to this. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, me personally, I don't really talk about that space to a lot of people because a lot of people don't really have the ear for it. They can't stomach that type of conversation because
you're right.
There's because they're used to that feel-good music. Even God said in the Bible, my people are words that are smooth as butter.
That's right.
If I can tell you something to justify what you did was wrong, but if I can tell you something to justify, to make you feel not so bad about it, you're gonna want to be around me all the time, because you can do bad shit and you know that I'm gonna say something to make you feel good about doing something bad.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with our people.
Yeah.
That's why my podcast is called Straight with No Chaser, because I'm not gonna give you no feel good words.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you words smooth as butter. I'm gonna give you the raw and uncut shit that other people are scared to tell you.
That's what we talking about.
You know what I mean?
That's what we talking about.
And so the thing is that people always say, well, how would a God let his people suffer and X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 blah.
Huh?
Okay. How many of us walk around every day and look at motherfuckers suffering and don't do nothing about it?
But we're not omnipotent though. We can't can't solve everyone's problems as an individual.
Says who? Says who?
I mean, we found out how I would say that that's built into the fact that it's hard for us to solve our own problems. So how the fuck we gonna solve anybody else's?
But says who? You know why it's only hard? It's only hard because we don't understand the end result, the end goal. We don't understand the platform we're supposed to be on. That's why it's hard.
Okay, so
that's the only reason it's hard.
So
because we are God.
Of course, absolutely.
We are God.
Absolutely.
So the thing is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If God made us in His image, that means we are just like Him. That means we have the same power within, right?
Okay.
But here's the thing.
I'm following.
Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
When we say it can't be done, we've already denounced the throne.
You're right. You're right.
We've already thrown away the power. It's gone now.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
So we walk around every day. We see motherfuckers suffering.
I just fell victim to that.
And everything, right? But,
yeah.
But we don't do nothing about it. Why we don't do nothing about it? Because we have a mindset that tells us that, hey, you got yourself in that situation. You need to get yourself out of it.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
So when God say, I'm gonna turn my face from you until you acknowledge your offenses, I'm gonna afflict you until you come back to me. He basically saying the same as that thing we say. So if we want to get out of our own rut, we need to just do what he say do.
Okay.
The problem is.
So what's your belief? What's your belief, bro? Like you Christian? Do you subscribe to any denomination? Are you like you're a spiritual guy?
None at all. You know why?
What's up?
None at all. I don't do religion.
Okay.
And see, the thing is, people would say, well, if you follow the Bible, you're a religious person. No. See, that's what's been, that's the thing that has been brainwashed into our systems. So the word religion gets tossed around in every way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah.
People don't differentiate the two.
Even belief is an ambiguous term now. When you even believe.
Well, exactly. I mean, well, you see, it comes down to this too, man. It comes down to people really taking the time out to learn the truth. The thing is, nobody want to really learn the truth because they're so happy at what they're doing. They love their shrimps, they love their lobster tails, they love their scallops and clams, they love their catfish and all this shit. So they don't want to hear the truth.
Right. But at the end of the day, ultimately, because like it's 7 billion people on this planet. There's never any way that we're ever going to get 7 billion people on the same accord. So everyone just has to learn whatever the truth is for them. Whatever the truth is for you.
Well, you got to think about it. I tell you what, and you say that, right? But this is how basic it is, though, right? To me.
Right.
this is me, because I'm a simple-minded person. I'm simple-minded, right?
Certain things are basic when it comes to just man being a man, but then when it comes to survival and family,
right?
Some of those things are universal shit. Survival and family, but when it comes to belief systems and all that, like man will never be on the same accord when it comes to belief systems.
You're not gonna do it. But I'll tell you this, man. All you gotta do is look at. Let me tell you something, brother. When the Bible says Satan's gonna come to kill, destroy, all you gotta do, if people really want to know the truth about anything, man, you go and seek it. That's why God says, seek and ye shall find. If you really want to know, I can show it to you, but you got to really want to know about this thing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to believe it. You got to believe it. Even when you read it,
right?
Though, you still got to believe it.
But you know one thing I can say? It's easy to believe something when you see it happening right before your eyes.
You're right. Yeah.
That's not even belief. That's just like a straight fact. Like,
it's confirmation.
This is a fact. It's happening. Like, motherfucker, I see it. You know what I'm saying?
It's confirmation for sure.
That's what you get. But see, once your eyes are open, once you really start digging into this thing, and I see when people say my eyes are open now, I'm woke. They're not talking about a physical eyelid being open.
Right.
This is
the third eye.
This is your mind.
Yeah.
I have opened up my mind. Now my mind is able to absorb things that I couldn't absorb before.
Hey yo, so we back again. Me and my guy Dun Wholio, man. The seems like the powers that be tried to cut us off last time, G. I guess we was getting a little bit too real for him, man. But we ain't letting up. You know what I'm saying?
Time.
We ain't letting
Never
up.
fails.
You know what I'm saying? You know how I go. But yo, your man's man with this election shit, man. Dude still like trying to fight the results. They counting votes over in certain states, and it's a bunch of like, I was just checking it out last night. I was doing some research on what like the outgoing president, the powers that the outgoing president still have and shit. Man, he still got the power to pardon a bunch of niggas.
People don't understand that, man. That's the diversion. You know what I'm saying? That's the diversion that the brown community gets.
Right.
That's what they get diverted from. Because they get caught up in this illusion that they've done something. And they haven't done anything. And then what ended up happening is what they thought they was doing.
Right.
They don't even realize that they actually were kind of productive in the process, and now there's a boomerang. It takes a long time for that boomerang to stop moving if it hits hard enough.
Yeah.
So, you know, man, it's funny because you would think that, and I don't know where we left off at last time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had a marker or something you wrote down as this where we stopped at or what. But it's just funny that people don't have the IQ of common sense.
Ain't that common?
Just a common intelligence to just stop for just a split second and just take a deep breath and think. Just make sense of things. People don't do that.
Not at all. Not at all.
People just don't do that.
Yeah, it's like emotional.
It's sad, bro. It's sad. Like people don't realize how sad it is, man. That's why the Bible say in Ecclesiastes, it say, come knowledge, with knowledge comes sorrow.
Okay.
And what that breaks down to be is that the more you start to edify yourself, the more you start to understand things, the more you start to comprehend the basics. And then the more power you start having within yourself to identify things that most people are blind to. But the thing is, the sorrow comes because then you are so open to that knowledge to where you see your people in this world, they are lost.
Sheep. Like
You
a
understand?
motherfucker.
And that makes you sad because you say things and you do things and you try to tell them things and they just don't hear you. They just can't comprehend what you're saying because what the Bible tells us that now they've been given over to a reprobate mind, which means they can't understand this knowledge. They can't get it. They can't comprehend it. It's going to be foreign language to them. That's the sad part. That's where the sorrow comes in at, is that you weep for people that you want to help, and they don't even know how hard you're weeping for them.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: Where do you?
You know what I'm saying?
What you think is at the root of that? What you think that's what Kool-Aid is the people with the non-common sense? What Kool-Aid are they drinking? What's going on with them? Why are they not able to understand, these basic common lessons, instructions, things of that nature?
Everything I try to reference to a biblical perspective because I know most of us, we are spiritual people, right? We believe in that Bible. But even though we cherry pick what we want to cherry pick, right? But my people are lost for a lack of knowledge. Just that simple.
The lack of even
there's no
trying to attain
it, brother.
Yeah. I guess it's a desire.
You understand?
Even the desire to want to know more, I think, is lost on a lot of people. The desire to want to know more.
Well, you only get the desire to want to know more when you actually know more. So the fact that you have that lack of knowledge already, they're not going to have that desire to want to know anything.
Right, because you got to be smart enough to know which questions to ask.
Well, exactly. You got to be smart enough to know which question to ask, and you got to be smart enough to just pick up the damn book.
Yeah, that's a start right there.
Like
people for anybody. Yeah, that's a start.
Yeah, right. For anybody. Like people don't know how genius that is to just pick up the book. Like when you pick that book up, you've already done 99.9% of the work. The other 1% gonna come from mere meditation.
Okay.
And that just means you actually reading the book.
Okay. But then a lot of people that read it, like you said, people cherry pick from it the way they want to cherry pick from it. And even from church to church, it can be the same denomination. From church to church, it can be a totally different interpretation of whatever words are being spoken there.
Well, and I'm gonna go back to it. It still leads to the same factor, a lack of knowledge. It leads to the same factor. Because the people that cherry pick the book, that means they're never gonna really understand it because they're just taking the things out. They're taking the things in perspective on how they want to make them feel good about something they've done wrong.
Okay.
So you know what? I'm gonna take this. So if I go out and do this, I'm gonna read this scripture, and you know what? It's gonna bring me back to my senses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't work like that. But if you can tell yourself that, you'll believe any damn thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the other thing is too, like even with the churches, you know what I'm saying? One thing that I know, and two things for sure, is that the pastors, they know the truth of that book. But the thing is that, even the Bible say that, yeah, they do. They do. And the only reason I know they do is because the book tell me that they do. The book tell me that they know the book, but it tells me what they're doing when they learn the truth. They learn how to manipulate, and they learn how to play on people's emotions,
and misrepresent,
play on people's vulnerability,
right.
Money. But the thing, there's no race in this country. Nobody. I don't care what nobody says or how they spin it. There's no other race in this country can teach that Bible the correct way, but a true Hebrew, which is myself.
Okay.
It was written by us, it was for us, and it was by us.
Okay.
You understand? So
yes, sir.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Those are my forefathers. So
Okay.
the thing is this: you understand that you are a true prince, and you understand and you finally understand what your duties are supposed to be. You start aligning yourself with things to correct yourself.
For sure. Right. King shit. King shit. King shit.
Right. You know, the Bible say, with all your understanding, with all your knowledge, get understanding. If you don't understand what you're reading, then you're not going to know anything anyway.
That's the fact. It's the knowledge, the wisdom, then the
So
understanding.
you have
You know
to
what I'm
get that
saying?
understanding.
That's correct.
That just means you have to know how to elaborate,
Right.
right? That's elaborate. That's
Right.
tell you, hey, you know, if I tell you, hey, this is a door handle, you want me to elaborate. Okay, what the fuck does the door handle does? What is it for? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I can't just tell somebody, hey, this is the word, this is the book, right? I gotta let you know what that book is for, who it was written by, who it was for, who it was by, and what steps we're supposed to be taking when we read this book.
Okay.
You know, the instructions for us, and I'm saying this because this all ties back into the political perspective of what we was talking about.
Okay.
The whole aspect of the Bible is for us to align ourselves with principles,
Okay.
right? Commandments,
Basic
things
instructions.
that equipped us, right, with the proper weapons
Okay.
to do pretty much everything.
Okay.
To speak,
Yeah.
to conduct ourselves, to
Okay.
be eloquent,
Right.
to be monsters.
Yes.
When I say monsters, I mean to be warriors, because
Right.
the Most High God was a warrior. You understand? This is
Okay.
what a lot of people don't understand that. You know, you got black folks still got the picture of Caesar Borgia in their house and in their church.
Come on, talk about it, man. Yo, I've been.
Again, when you
when we
see
coming
it,
for that?
you know
When we coming
lost.
for that white Jesus, man? When we coming for the white Jesus, man? Because that, come on, man.
You know what the thing is? We're not gonna. Let me tell you something. Satan's gonna be here. He's gonna be here for another 1,000 years, ruling this earth. That's all that is.
Yeah.
So the thing is, hey, we can't get rid of him because that's gonna be the Most High God job when he come back.
You know
right?
why?
But what we can do is we can get rid of him from our lives where he don't come nowhere near us and our family if we conducting ourselves right.
You know how that picture got positioned as the picture of Jesus, right?
Absolutely. I know how it got predicted.
His
got
dad was the
Constantine.
Pope. No, his
His
dad.
dad, yeah, Pope
Borgia. His dad was the
John
Pope.
Paul.
His dad was the Pope, and he commissioned Leonardo
was
DiCaprio to make that painting. Not Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo da Vinci. My bad. I said Leonardo DiCaprio.
But the thing was,
And
is
they was
that
lovers.
what a lot
They
of
was
people,
homos.
yeah, what a lot of people don't understand this too is that if you look in the book of Psalms, God had already prophesied that they was going to change the likely image of their of our God to their God.
Okay.
They were already prophesied.
Okay.
See, and this is what I talk, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, if people read and know these things, you can't do nothing but believe that this thing is real. You see it transforming right before your eyes. You're like, man, I read that.
Right.
This book was written way before all this, and it's happening now.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing about that is, because man's nature is never going to change, though. Man's nature is always going to be man's nature. So even words that were written however long ago, yes, they can still ascribe to man today because man's nature is the same.
What is man's nature?
I don't think it's one particular thing. It's good, it's evil, it's greed, it's lust, it's all of the 7 deadly sins. That's man's nature.
It's one thing. Man nature is one thing, and that's habits.
Okay.
Habits.
Okay. Right.
That's it.
Okay. Well, yeah. Narrowing it down to that. Yeah.
Now you can branch that off. You can branch that. Habit is just a tree, and it has many branches. You look at a tree. That's one tree with 1,000 branches on it, right?
Right.
That's all habits is. Habits is just a tree. It's one tree. It's one thing. with many branches. And them things can be good, evil, this, that, however you want to spin it. But
Right.
men, it's habits. That's
Okay,
it.
right,
And the thing
right.
is,
It's
we
the
don't know
habits.
how to, but we don't. So the problem that with the human being, and which is why God was going to wipe all of us off until He saw Noah, right? Until He seen Noah was a just man, and He saved Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and his 3 wives,
All right.
and put them all in and told them to build an ark. If it wasn't for Noah, there wouldn't be no human race.
Okay. Now that's taking the Bible literally.
So a lot of people say,
I personally don't take the Bible literally, bro.
yeah,
Not
I
myself.
mean, well, you can look at it in parables or metaphors.
Yeah, I
You can
look
look
at
at
it
it
like
however
that.
you want to
Parables.
look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I tell people? You look at it how you want to look at it. But
Right.
if I want to travel to Florida, and you chose to go north and I chose to go south,
right?
The way you going is not wrong. The way I'm going is not wrong because we're both going to the same state, right?
Exactly.
We're going to the same place. You
exactly. And I like to equate it, piggybacking off of that, I like to equate it as this, 7, from my teachings, 5% teachings, of God's and earth, 7 is the God degree. So we're all trying to get to 7 at the end of the day. You're saying the same thing that I'm saying. It's just that, okay, so if we both trying to get to 7 and I do 5 plus 2 and you do 1 plus 6 and we both end up at 7, then, nobody's knowledge is any greater than anybody else's if we end up at the same place together.
The one thing you can't be is a stumbling block for another man that's trying to correct himself.
That's correct. That's a fact.
You understand?
That's a fact.
So the Bible tells us about stumbling blocks.
Yeah.
He that is a stumbling block, hey, you're worse off than a sinner. So, I'm not gonna tell a man, hey, no, man, that's not. Hey, look, bro, if that's what make you a better man, go for it. You understand?
Right.
If that's the thing that's aligning you to be the person that you're trying, hey, go for it. You know what I mean? I can't knock that. Right. But speaking from my perspective, he saw a just right person. He said that just right person is 3 sons and 3 wives, right? And he told them after the flood was done, hey, go and repopulate the earth. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everything besides y'all were evil. But you can take that same concept and look at it right now.
Okay.
Right? There's a lot of evil going on.
A tremendous amount.
What do your government officials and the local officials and city officials, right? And all these, what do they want to do with all the evil? They want to do what?
Lock it up.
They want to lock it up and wipe it away.
Right.
They want to do the same as that thing. See, I use these basic concepts because it's understandable when I correlate it to a biblical reference. Because you may not understand the biblical reference, but you may understand the correlation in something just that simple, right? Because you're going to say, okay, yeah, police want to get rid of bad people. Okay, so why do people knock the Most High God when He got rid of all the bad shit?
What was that again?
See, this is so I say this is that you can't find one person out here that wouldn't want to get rid of something bad.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
If they tell you anything different, they're telling you a straight lie.
Yeah, I believe.
But you got people that knock the Most High God in the Bible because He got rid of a bunch of bad people.
Okay.
And wiped them off the planet of the earth.
Okay. And who were they?
But then you'll come back and say, man, I wish I could get rid of all that bad shit. Oh, so it's okay for you to get rid of bad stuff, but when the Most High God get rid of all the bad shit, it's a problem.
Who has an issue with that?
Oh, you got many people talk about that, man. Man, I've had people say, what type of God would kill a whole bunch of people and wipe them off the face of this earth? That was evil. Whatever. We got to go. You understand?
Yeah, evil is evil.
So, but again, this is, see, I can talk like this because I can identify things. I can recognize things.
Okay.
I can simplify things so that people understand where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? And I think you have to have a certain level of understanding right, to be able to do something like that. Because if not, it sounds like a bunch of blabber.
Well,
But
yeah, of course. Now, and the
but
thing, but
people,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, but people love to be the, how they call it? Ain't that the cat calling the kettle black or something? I don't know. Whatever that reference is they use.
Right.
They're always doing that.
Of course.
They're
Hypocrites.
always the one that says something like that, but they do the same exact thing.
Hypocrite shit.
But the thing is that they do it.
Mm-hmm.
They do it only to justify the means of their wrongdoing.
Of course.
So they go to a church that makes them feel good and feel like they're gonna get forgiveness for doing something wrong.
Okay.
But I can show them in the Bible, hey, look, that ain't true. You know what they'll tell me? Well, everything in the Bible ain't real. Oh, but you're gonna the thing that justify what you did, that's gonna be real because it makes you feel good, but everything else ain't real. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. I mean, even I admire your work. It's frustrating talking to people like that and, you know, even trying to put them on a path of some other type of understanding. There's some frustrating shit. I don't really take too much time trying to do that. Like if I'm talking to you, even if we have opposing views, right? And I'm talking to you and, you know, just the level, the frequency ain't there, man, I'm checking out on you. Fuck it. Learn it somewhere else, man. I don't have time for this bullshit.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, you can't talk to a brick wall, Doc.
Not
you just
at all.
can't do it. Brick walls don't talk. But that's where most people, their understanding is a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
But you're the crazy one because you know too much.
Yeah.
But you're the dumb one when you don't know enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
then where's the righteous?
It's almost like, damn if I do, damn if I don't.
Where did the righteous come in between that?
But that's the thing. The righteous can be on many levels. I mean, I know people that have righteous tendencies. They're not going to go out and do nothing illegal. They're not going to go out and do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They have a basic concept like, I know I'm not supposed to do those things. I'm just going to be a good person and be nice to people and love everybody.
Right.
They may not know the Bible, right?
Right.
But they have an emotional connection to something higher.
Okay. Yeah.
So I can't say that that's not a righteous person.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, I mean.
But you got a lot of people that know the Bible. They know it, they understand it, they know what they're supposed to be doing, not supposed to be doing, but they do all the opposite.
Of course. Lots of people. Lots of people.
So when you break down righteousness, you know what I mean? You're breaking down, to me, I think you break down righteousness with behavior. You know, It's because that's what it really comes down to. It comes down to behavior. It's not about the knowledge. It's not about what you know. It comes down to behavior, you know?
Okay.
It's all behavior. You know, everybody in the Bible were not disciples of God, you know, because they were smart. And most of them, they was dumb as a brick, but they was willing to follow and be obedient. You understand?
Yeah.
So I knew that, and he used them for that. So, I mean, so to me, man, it's behavior. You know, that's why the way that we act and the way that we conduct ourselves rubs off on people. It makes people want to be around us. It makes people want to talk to us. It makes people want to come to us. It makes us assertive and all these other different things. But then when you also have the knowledge to also teach, right, with that behavior, I think it's an added bonus. You know what I mean? And It makes you more powerful as an individual.
Oh, yeah.
You're not only able to lead, you're able to teach.
Yeah. Which are two different things. You know, people may not understand. Leading and teaching is not the same thing.
It's a two-part concept.
Mm-hmm.
It's a two-part concept.
Man. So what you think, man? What you think, man? You think the election results are, you think we done? It's done?
You know, I tell people this, you know, I get a lot, I get, I have a lot of debates with a lot of my friends and family and people that I know on social media about this stuff.
Mm.
But just because I have a different opinions with you, it's not gonna make me hate you. It's not gonna make me dislike you or none of that. That's just me. I don't know what people's reactions and emotions are.
Right.
But one thing I can say is this, man. People don't understand, and black people for sure. And I hate to say black because I'm not black. Again, it's a habit that I've always been trying to break for a long time.
Okay.
But brown people don't understand how significant Donald Trump was for them. And see, when I say that, the illiterates would take it as a monetary value.
Okay.
He ain't do nothing for us. What he did for us, how he's significant to us. Let me tell you something, dude. This is the basic mindset of people. But the action of Donald Trump made more brown people come together as a unit.
Okay.
Than any other president in the history of the
Okay.
United States of America.
I can see that. I can see
You
that.
see,
I can see that to a
this is
degree.
the value that people don't see because this the value that they don't see because they're so emotional of disliking somebody and not seeing the significance and what it has done for them personally.
Yeah.
Without Trump, you're still emotionally divided.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't cure that. I mean, he brought it to.
Well, no. It's not a cure.
Right.
It's not a cure. It's not a cure at all. It's not a cure, but it's an awareness.
Right.
When you can make somebody aware of something, that's a hell of a goddamn step.
Yeah, but the thing is, he didn't make all of us aware though. Everybody's we still not lockstep with each other yet. I mean, of course, we see it now. We see the racism on TV every day now. These niggas at the courthouses and at the polling places talking about stop the vote. So I mean, I look back.
You know why I don't talk about racism? You know why I don't talk about racism? I don't talk about racism because the more you talk about something, the more you keep it relevant. And the more you keep something relevant, the more often it happens. And the more often it happens, the more hard it's going to be to get to where we're trying to go.
Okay.
See,
I would say, I won't say I agree with you, but I wouldn't say that racism falls in that bad because whether we talk about it or not, I mean, it's been going on behind the scenes since we've been here. Whether we talked about it to the death. We boycotted. We tried.
Right?
We tried every.
Let me give you a basic concept. I'm gonna give you a basic concept, right?
Go ahead.
All right. So you're an artist, I'm an artist, right? We're both pretty relevant, right? It's relevant. We're relevant, right? Okay. We're relevant. People know who both of us are, right? Got a huge fan base. Whatever. Okay. I start beefing with you or calling you out, right? You never respond. Okay. You never even acknowledge it. Okay. When you get interviewed, they ask you about that, you go, yeah, I've got a tour coming up. You don't even, to you, it don't even exist. Okay. What you think happened to that situation?
That particular situation has the probability of going away. Just because you don't speak on it doesn't guarantee that it goes away. But hold on. See, let me finish this. That particular situation may go away if you don't speak on it. Okay, now when you're talking about in terms of rappers, talking about rappers. Okay, so if I don't acknowledge your diss to me, yeah, the situation. Okay, well, even with that though, now the situation may go away, but the situation is not a system already though. Like racism is a system that's already running in the background, bro. We don't have to talk about it.
So watch this, right? So watch this. You use the word probability and you use the word system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, probability is what, right?
The likelihood of something.
Of something. Okay, cool. A maybe.
Right.
Right? Now, systematic is what? Is a what?
Something engineered to keep running. A system is engineered to go and go and go and go and go.
Something that's been engineered or structured to continue, right? To be repetitive.
That's correct.
So you break down the word probability and systematic
mm-hmm.
and this issue that we're talking about.
Okay.
And I guarantee you, if you don't talk about racism, the probability of that, the only reason most things keep happening is because we acknowledge them and we make it a thing. All these radio stations, all these outlets, you know what type of ratings they get when we're hooting and hollering about things like that happen? It's all money.
Yeah.
It is structured that way.
Strictly, it was about money.
Right. So now you say it's systematic, right?
It is.
Now, I would argue that it used to be, but now I'm gonna argue that because you got more of us killing each other than anybody out here in this country.
But I understand that.
I'll play into the role of what we're talking about, right?
Okay.
What happens to a system that can't prosper or accomplish what it's trying to accomplish?
Well, it's already accomplished what it wanted to, and it's continuing to accomplish what it wants and needs to accomplish.
No, but what I'm saying is, what happens to a system that can't accomplish what it's trying to accomplish?
It'll collapse.
It collapsed. So right now, the brown man and woman in this world make up the majority in every category across the board.
On the planet, yeah.
So guess who the system is?
We don't control it.
But see, again, I would argue that from sun up to sundown. You know why we control it?
How is that?
Because without the brown dollar, there is no system in this country.
I get it, but you know what? Now, okay, boom. I'm glad that you said that. All right, now here's the thing about that. The part of the system that now it's part of the system that controls that brown dollar, because we don't have nowhere. Here we go with the system part. We don't have nowhere to spend our brown dollars because we don't own shit. We ain't in control of shit. So we fall victim to the system and we have to spend our money with them. That's the system. They broke it down so that we have to spend our bread with them.
Again, that is a brainwashing tactic.
It is.
That they've used to make us think like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's absolutely.
And that system is still very much working, very fine.
Now see, but again, like I said, without us, there is no system. We are the system, brother. We're the entire system of the United States.
We're a pawn on the chessboard.
Without brown people in this country, nothing sustains.
You're right about that.
And there's enough brown people in this country.
You're right. I'm agreeing with you 1,000%. I'm agreeing with you. I don't think it's enough.
All I'm saying is this.
I'm agreeing with you 1,000%. It is. But if we don't control it, if we don't have no control of it, then that's where we lost that, because we don't have no control over it.
But see, the thing is, control only comes with numbers, brother.
But that's what we don't have.
We do have the numbers. We have the numbers. We just have a disconnected number.
Okay.
We have people, but everybody's disconnected. Again, that's part of why we are a broken system.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So
Their system is working fine.
I'm not disagreeing with you about the system.
Right.
I'm just trying to get you to see that we are the system.
I understand
we
that.
correct the system.
I know that we spend $1 trillion. We spend $1 trillion a year, just us in the United States as Black people.
Bro, if we are the system. There's no such thing as this. We the system. We the system because we control. When I say we control the dollars that flow in this country, meaning we spend the most, which means we have the control to not spend that dollar. And there's no such thing as
therein lies the problem.
Go back to this.
Yeah, therein lies the problem right there. We spend the most. We spend the most on Gucci, Louis, all this crazy shit. And they steadily running up Wall Street.
We make
and niggas is just finding out about.
We make everybody else rich.
Yeah. But we
don't have
our methods of getting rich.
We don't have
see here's where the system basically it overshadows us, because the tactics that they use to get rich, we don't even know about yet. We just now getting up on these certain little things that somebody you might have held a prominent position and got tight with somebody and they decided to throw you a jewel, or like, you know what, you can invest in this, or you can write this off. We don't know these things. These guys have had hundreds and hundreds of year head start on how to keep the wealth in their community already. Let me tell you something. We haven't sat down to we haven't came to the table and sat down.
Bring up these people did what they got. Let me tell you something. One thing, the biggest problem that we have, and this is my own personal opinion, and I truly feel like I'm right.
Okay.
Is that we're too emotional and we have no stamina as a people.
You mean stamina for the fight?
Whatsoever. None. Because I'm gonna tell you something. The only reason every other culture is on top of us,
come on,
is because they fought and they took that shit.
They came together though too.
Ain't no other way.
They came together as a solid block, and started demanding.
But let's stop real quick. What you just said is what I just told you about the black dollar.
Yeah.
And how we control it. They came together.